Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Across all times and all cultures, the relationship with mother-in-law is traditionally difficult. So I just wanted to offer a little perspective on that and some healing for that particular relationship. Being a mother is an extremely dense emotional experience. And luckily for mothers, they have an entire lifetime to unpack that experience and enjoy the understanding of the details of that experience and to organize themselves around the experience of being a mother. And it's really easy for a mother because she starts with the child as an infant, and so the skill set grows as the child grows, and the whole process is actually very simple, really. It doesn't have the pressure of time associated with it. However, a mother-in-law is not so fortunate. A mother-in-law has the complex job of organizing herself around a very intimate relationship, a mother-child relationship with somebody that they do not have a lifetime experience building up their skill set and understanding and the time to unpack those deep intuitions and insights into that person's nature. So it's much more difficult to be a mother-in-law than it is to be a daughter or son-in-law. It's much more difficult. The daughter or son-in-law often comes in feeling as if that mother-in-law is going to be like another mother, basically. They'll just be like my mom, only now I have two moms. Ideally, it should be like that. But the mother-in-law is vastly disadvantaged to be able to have the same degree of intuitive understanding, habits, verbal and kinemic habits associated with the sensitivity required to play the role of an intimate provider and advisor and person who sees your full potential and supports the unfoldment of that in the highest and best possible way. So I'm not saying that if you have a problem with your mother-in-law that it's your fault. Actually, I'm just shedding a little perspective on why it is difficult, even for a very nice person, to be a good mother-in-law. They have to be quick, they have to understand what they're doing, they have to be right on top of the work of unpacking the emotional intensity of the relationship. And they have to very quickly, mother-in-laws usually come into that condition in middle age, they have to very quickly adapt to that position. And in middle age, people often are a little more set in their ways than they were when they were young. So there are challenges, that's all. So what I'm saying is that if your mother-in-law doesn't realize that this is the actual job in front of her, then it may not be easy for her to accommodate that role with grace. So in this healing, I think I'd like to go into a healing now, looking out to everyone who's watching this video and lovingly connecting with the hearts of the mothers and the mother-in-laws and the children-in-laws in this world. And what I'm doing is I'm looking into the sacred garden of the heart for all people in this particular relationship. And in that space, we're opening up an expansion at the celestial level of the physiology, opening up an expansion of the frequency of truth. Because truth is the foundation for effective communication. And then trust is the other one, truth and trust. And I'm seeing that there are a lot of expectations and judgments in this field, so that's the next thing that would be really good to clear. And clearing autonomous self-judgments for individuals, particularly those in the mother-in-law category. So as mother-in-laws can become less have lower expectations on themselves. Obviously, they took 20 or 30 or however many years to become a good mom to their own children. And if your child is married, then that's a good sign that you've done something successfully. So having the same expectation that you're going to come up to that same level of proficiency with the child-in-law is too much to ask, at least in the short time frame, especially if the marriage is new or the relationship is new. It's too much to ask. It's better to expect of yourself that you will always do your best, and to at least be able to use the scaffolding of social convention. Using the scaffolding of social convention, and we're strengthening that scaffolding just a little bit here at the collective level of the physiology, because that's going to be the framework upon which successful, happy, loving, long-term relationships can be stabilized. And then within the context of that, what women do best is to improvise upon that scaffolding, to sensitize the ability to really appreciate that what the children-in-law really want is the autonomy to evolve and grow in alignment with their own divine guidance, the guidance of divinity. And that means a little something different to everyone. And the mother-in-law also needs the freedom to evolve and grow according to her own divine guidance. But the mother-in-law's expectations on herself to be that all-important center of the family, because that's what a mother is. The mother is this sort of traditionally this kind of central hub of the family. It's not going to be like that with a mother-in-law. It's going to be more like a dear, dear friend, and a dear focal point of wisdom and love and appreciation. What we're doing right now is we're aligning the intuition in everybody in this healing session with the ability to see the highest potential in their dear, intimate family members. And then to be able to spontaneously and innocently nurture that potential with every word, every thought, every feeling of the heart, every action. I'm wishing a beautiful Mother's Day to everybody watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here.